Hey everyone, it's your boy Jay. Welcome to another episode of Journeys with Jay. A special shout out if it's your first time to my channel. To my loyal viewers, thanks so much for your continued support. This is my 100th video, y'all, and I have so much more to make. Thanks so much for sharing this journey with me. In this episode, I wrap up my visit to Québec City in this part 4 video. Let's go. I'm here around the area of the Québec City Notre Basilica. La Boutique de Noël de Québec claims to have a secret passage to the North Pole, and thousands of visitors from across the globe can get their Christmas ornaments, collectibles, and memories of their stay in Quebec. In this Christmas village themed store, the elves and the team at La Boutique de Noël de Québec and its elves happily welcome everyone. But seriously, Christmas store all year round? We're not overdoing it. The monument of François de Laval, inaugurated in June 1908, is located in front of the Presbytery Notre Dame de Québec and the Old Post Office. The centerpiece of the monument is a statue of Saint Francois, who was the first bishop of the Diocese of Quebec and the apostolic vicar of the area. In 2014, he was declared a saint by Pope Francis. Montmorency Park is a National Historic Site of Canada located in the historic core of Québec City, at the top of Côte de Montagne. No surface structure remains to illustrate its role as the site of the Legislative Assembly of Lower Canada, of the Parliament of the Province of Canada, and of the Legislative Assembly of the Province of Quebec. Large cannons lining the wall speak to the site's historical military role as a defensive battery. Bounded by a defensive wall, the site comprises mature trees, manicured grass, walkways, commemorative monuments, and park benches, all overlooking Place Royale and beyond to the St. Lawrence River. It affords commanding views towards the urban center on one side and dramatic views overlooking Place de Royale. On display are the remaining cannons of the battery and the retaining wall. So these could be swung to defend Québec City. all the way down there. Not going all the way down, but it's interesting to use an old cannon to support. I wonder if that's new or if that is what it was. But you can see all the way down along this wall fortress. Parisian Louis Hébert settled on a property on Cap Diamond. His family were the first to take up residence permanently in New France. They grew grain, vegetables, medicinal plants, and Normandy apple trees. He also tended to the sick, among them native people with whom he had an amicable ties. This chair and these blocks, as mentioned earlier, are symbolic monuments to the fact that Québec City was therefore a part-time capital of Canada. Québec City actually hoped to become the capital of a future Canada, but Queen Victoria of England designated Bytown, which you'll see in a video that I posted before, click on the link above, to be renamed Ottawa, a neutral location, as the capital of the country that would be born in 1867. Hence the reference to Québec City as the old capital. En Côte de la Montagne, below Montmorency Park, is a small, rather unique park with a large cross. This is the first cemetery in Québec City and in Canada. It was Champlain who opened it in 1609 to bury the first settlers of the colony. The deceased were buried here until 1691, when burials were prohibited here. By 1722, Côte de la Montagne Cemetery was considered empty as the remains that were here were transferred. It's summer, so Québec City, like most Canadian cities, turned orange as there's construction all over. These stairs connect Upper Town to the Lower Town. In 1620, Samuel de Champlain, the founder of Québec City, decided to build his home, a permanent fortified residence at the top of Cap Diamant. He then drew a road, Côte de Montagne, which still follows the same route today. A path was then created to bike past the steep incline. Traveling from the port of Quebec in Lower Town to the fort and residences in Upper Town was made easier by the building of a steep pathway in 1670. French colonial authorities had stairs and landings built, and this structure was called the Champlain Stairs or Beggar's Stairs. By the 1880s, the old wooden stairway had become so dangerous that a London travel guide referred to them as breakneck, and that term caught on. In 1893, the city replaced them with a more solid 3-ramp iron structure that converted the steps from a single flight into 3 parallel ones. The stairs in place today date back to the late 1960s. No serious injuries have been reported on the stairs despite their ominous name. But the real net breakers? According to the archives, the real menace on Mountain Hill in the 17th century was the foolish young rascals who hurled down the hill at breakneck speeds in their horse carts. Residents complained that they drove recklessly and it was a real public danger to pedestrians. This very steep hill was a headache for authorities too. Upkeep was a problem. In the winter, the thawing and refreezing sometimes caused ice to form and made it impossible to use the hills for days at a time. But despite it all, Mountain Hill and Breakneck Stairs have provided an indispensable link between Upper and Lower Town Quebec for 4 centuries now. It has even been claimed because of them, Quebec women have the shapeliest calves in the world. But a warning, if you can't climb these stairs, do not attempt to climb the stairs to Promenade de Governors. It literally takes the wind out of you, and many people I saw along the way had to stop for a break. Steeped in history and packed with Instagram-ready corners, Lower Town, or Basse-Ville, is a beautiful area that thrives from a former tiny riverside hamlet. It is one of the most visited places in Quebec City. Its claim to fame including the cobblestone zigzag streets and multi-centennial colorful townhouses with flowers flanking the curved balconies. This part of town can be explored within an hour and a half. The sheer beauty of Quebec's Lower Town comes from the rich history it's steeped in. This area is one of the oldest residential areas. Today, there are many boutique hotels nestled among upscale cafes, restaurants, and souvenir stores. The Royal Battery is a link in the defensive system, which is a stone semicircle structure built in 1691 and restored in 1977. Its structure comprises 4 stone walls, 14 embrasures, reproductions of cannons, and interpretation panels. The battery is named in honor of Louis XIV, the French king, who financed its construction. Its form allowed soldiers to spot ships sailing up the river. The platform was designed to accommodate the battery of cannons needed to defend the city. Unearthed during archaeological digs, the battery was restored in 1977 and re-inaugurated the following year. To mark the city's 370th anniversary, the French government gave 10 pieces of 1733 artillery to the Royal Battery as a gift. Quai de Paris in the 19th century was a natural beach, and the site saw fluctuating tides. Boats filled with new arrivals and goods docked on the bank, where over the years quays were built to facilitate the reception of ships. The site is decorated with trees, plants, shrubs, and a large grassy area reminiscent of the past riverbank. In 1987, it took the name Place de Paris with the unveiling of a sculpture offered to the city of Quebec by the city of Paris entitled Dialogue with History. The sculpture, a stack of white cubes 8 meters high, was meant to commemorate the arrival of the French settlers at the historic site. However, from the start, many people complained it was an eyesore, dubbing it simply the Cube, Rubik's Cube, the fridge, and even the toilet. This work of art was bulldozed and removed for security reasons, as it was in danger of collapsing. Parisian artist Baptiste de Montberg presents the Radical Nature urban art project. These anachronistic vehicles are scattered throughout the neighborhood between the Stone Age and our contemporary leisure society. You're free to climb on, but good luck achieving any forward movement. The Flintstone style quad and all-terrain vehicles are literally set in stone. The undulating patterns caused by the paving stones are said to recall the movement of the fluctuating tides. Long wooden benches are arranged exactly where the remains of the old quays of 1785, 1818, and 1837 were found during archaeological excavations. This piece by Félix-Leclerc, who is known for large-scale, site-specific anamorphic paintings on historical monuments. This piece, called Double Interlaced Concentric Circles, a monumental architectural urban installation blending into the iconic architecture of Place Royale. Visitors can enter the painting and wander around observing deconstructed fragments until a specific viewpoint resolves the optical enigma, providing a coherent view of the overall form. In 1608, the French explorer Samuel de Champlain established a settlement that would become Québec City on the site of Place Royale. For this reason, the square is often referred to as the cradle of French civilization in America. By the 1620s, the square hosted the city's first market, inspiring its original name of Market Square. The settlement would develop rapidly during the 17th century, forming what is now called the Lower Town or Basse-Ville of Quebec City. A fire in 1682 ravaged the wooden structures of the settlement, prompting the construction of new stone buildings that would establish the architectural style of the square. In 1686, a bust of King Louis XIV was erected in the square, inspiring its current name of Place Royale. Place Royale was extensively destroyed by the British Army in 1759. The Place Royale you see now looks a lot like it was when it was called Place des Manches from 1725 to 1750. It's all there, a dense configuration of 2- and 3-story stone houses with firewalls, wide chimneys, gable roofs, and small paned windows. Except half of the buildings were completely rebuilt between 1960 and 1980. Murder of crows has taken up residence on the stairway in Maison Réseau, and they appear to have found a friendly space to meet discreetly, perched on surrounding beams and windows. Seen as harbingers of bad tidings in many Western cultures, the crow and raven are more often viewed as mischievous but respected messengers by the indigenous people. Here climbed up the stairs from Place Royale. The Old Quebec Funicular is an inclined elevator, formerly a funicular railway. It links Haute-Ville, or Upper Town at Dufferin Terrace, to Basse-Ville, Lower Town at Rue du Petit Champlain. Climbing at a 45-degree angle, the railway covers a total distance of 64 meters, or 210 feet. Built by William Griffith, the first funicular went into operation on November 17, 1879. On July 2, 1945, a massive fire destroyed the structure. And then it was reconstructed in 1946, and the new funicular was equipped with metal shelters. Fortunately, in October 1996, a Briton was killed when the cable snapped and the emergency brake failed to stop the cabin before it crashed into the lower station. As a result of this fatal crash, the funicular was closed and entirely revamped with modern technology. Pierre Brassard and Marie Pierre Lebreau added emoji-like googly eyes to several buildings in the Quebec City Centre. Their Big Other urban installation gives visitors the unsettling impression of being watched by Big Brother-like presence. Petit Champlain is one of the most popular shopping streets in Quebec City, known for its boutiques featuring everything from Quebec-made boots and moccasins to sculptures and jewelry. Sample decadent fudge or sweet maple syrup. Shop for clothing made by local designers or fun Quebec-branded souvenirs. Meet talented local artists and take a piece of Quebec home with you. The neighborhood is extremely photogenic, even more so in winter from what I've seen. The narrow alleyways, wrought iron staircases, and brightly painted windows and doors really draw your eye. Keep in mind that this is a very touristy location, so many stores will be selling items at higher prices. You might be able to find some of the local specialty items elsewhere for less money. This park is a small park. It's a lovely place with lots of flowers, shaded by many trees, and there are several park benches where you can relax. The enormous Fresque de Québos mural recounts the story of Quebec City and pays homage to some 15 historic figures and various authors and artists. Well, that brings an end to my visit to Quebec City. I'm here in a taxi on the way to the bus terminal. Stay tuned to see which Canadian city I am off to next. Leave your guesses in the comment section. Thanks so much for joining me on a very special Journeys with Jay. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and drop a comment in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about the video or share a story about your visit to Quebec City. Until our next journey, keep safe, God bless. It's your boy Saint J, out.